Hello, welcome to my video. This is the first of a two-part storyline in collaboration with another textuber, also known as the love of my life, 𝘠𝘠𝑚. You can find the second part to this video on their channel. I'll also place the link in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is a bokuaka storyline that does not take place in the canon haikyuu universe. Please note that there are sexual references and innuendos, and though nothing is explicit, viewer discretion is advised. As always, I do hope you enjoy. Now on to the video.
In which Akaashi can't stop thinking about him, even though he's the one that left. Make it stop. Akaashi grumbles as the clamor of the alarm clock reverberates through his sleep-deprived body. He's far too tired and cozy in his bed to open his eyes and locate the source of the noise, though, so he stretches out his nearly limp arm and blindly throws it toward his nightstand. Finally, his wrist lands on the right button of the alarm clock, and the bedroom is once again enveloped in silence. Ugh. Akaashi hears a quiet laugh beside him. He then becomes aware of the familiar heat pressed against his back and the hold around his middle. Breath gently tickles his neck before chapped lips meet his nape. Ah, you up, babe? Another laugh. For a while now. Glad you could join me. Akaashi hums sleepily, then rolls around so that he's facing Osamu. Osamu's grey hair is a mess, falling straight down the middle of his face instead of swooping to the left as usual. His half-lidded eyes are suggestive of exhaustion, but he still manages to give Akaashi a lively smile. Good morning. Good morning. How long have you been awake? Dunno, maybe an hour? Oh. Why didn't you wake me up? Osamu shrugs, then pulls Akaashi closer to him until their chests bump. No reason to. Besides, I know you've got to be tired after last. SHH. Akaashi presses his index finger to Osamu's lips, which are curled into a knowing smile. Akaashi clucks his tongue and moves his finger to jab Osamu's cheek in faux disgust. Save that for a more appropriate time of day. It's too early and I'm too tired. Osamu lets out a deep chuckle. What? Why you're shushing me? I'm just saying. You saying usually leads to a lot of doing. Ha. Not like you ain't as bad as me. And I know you like my mouth. Well, it's the same mouth on Atsumu's face, and we both know quite a bit of nonsense comes out of his. Osamu's face scrunches up. Well, I don't like any mouth my brother's name unnecessarily comes out of. Akaashi smiles as he snuggles closer to Osamu. Yeah, just kiss me now. Osamu grins. Will do. Osamu eyes dart between Akaashi's eyes and lips for a moment, then he leans in to kiss him, their lips slotting as if perfectly etched to fit each other. Osamu's arms wrap tighter around Akaashi's waist, and Akaashi melts in the embrace. Osamu's arms are thick and firm, as is his broad chest, unlike what Akaashi was used to. For years, Akaashi had been entrapped by huge, muscled arms and sheltered by a back carved out by mountains and God. Those hugs had always been warm, and even now, Akaashi has yet to come across an embrace so redolent of home. Osamu isn't quite like that. He's not bulky, and a bit soft in some spots. But that was one of the things that made Akaashi yearn for Osamu's hold. With Osamu, he didn't feel caged. He felt safe, welcome, but, as with the space that Osamu's arms seemed to always leave untouched, as though he had something to chase after. Something that makes him dizzy with greediness. Something almost thrilling. After a few minutes, Osamu pulls back from Akaashi, his swollen lips parted as he pants lightly with light pink cheeks. From the heat he feels in his face and his fast-beating chest, Akaashi knows he's looking much the same. Osamu swipes a thumb across Akaashi's bottom lip. Yeah, incredible, you know. Akaashi kisses Osamu's thumb. Says you. Osamu smiles. I need a smoke. Wanna join me? Still too sleepy. Osamu chuckles and slowly removes his arms from around Akaashi. You haven't been smoking that long. If you wanna quit while you're ahead, just say so. I won't be pissy. I'll be proud. I'll keep that in mind. Osamu chuckles again as he slinks out of the bed. You really are something, you know that? I'll make some food for us while you sleep some more. Can I have an omelette? Sure thing. Rest up, sleeping beauty. Osamu smiles at Akaashi before leaving the room, shutting the door softly behind him. Akaashi curls up in the empty bed, an experience from his not-too-distant past. With a sigh, Akaashi bunches up the covers in his grasp, willing himself to fall into slumber once more. Are you not bored? No. I like watching you work, it's inspiring. Bokuto's huge arms squeeze more tightly around Akaashi, who sits atop Bokuto's lap. They are nestled against each other on an armchair that's much too small for Bokuto's ever-growing figure. The fireplace before them is lit, little slivers of white flame dancing across the wood. But most of the warmth is exuded from Bokuto's broad body. Akaashi hums as he continues to type away on the laptop balanced on his legs. Well, okay, if you say so. Kijai. Akaashi glances back at Bokuto, seeing the slight frown on his face and, goodness, the tips of his spiky hair are really drooping. Yes. This is the part in the script where you say I'm inspiring, too. Akaashi quirks up an eyebrow. What script? The one I'm writing for our fairy tale in my head. Akaashi shakes his head but smiles, giving Bokuto an Eskimo kiss. Oh, yeah? Does the fairy tale have a happy ending? Bokuto grins. You bet it does. Bokuto plants a soft kiss on Akaashi's cheek before resting his chin on Akaashi's shoulder. What are you working on, anyway? Just a proposal for a new marketing campaign. Akaashi sighs deeply. It will probably be approved, whether to my reward or displeasure. Bokuto lets out a hearty laugh. Why would it be to your displeasure? Shouldn't you want it to get approved? Well, yes, but if it's my proposal getting approved, I'll have to spearhead it. And some of my co-workers are slackers, to put it nicely. So I'll be more stressed than anything, working longer with the same amount of pay and hoping I'll get promoted if all goes well. Welcome to corporate Japan. Ha, you can say that again. But you're bound to get promoted soon, Kiji, I can feel it. You're a good worker, great, even. And you care more than you really need to. Hard work doesn't always get recognized. Well, I think yours will. Being meticulous is hot. PFFFT. What? I'm serious. It doesn't matter if it's hot, I'm trying to get a raise, not a boyfriend. MMHMM. Bokuto pulls Akaashi closer to his chest. Yeah, the boyfriend position is already taken. Really? By who? Akaashi grins as Bokuto pouts. Not funny. Okay, sorry. The two fall into silence, and Akaashi turns back to his laptop screen to continue typing up his proposal. After about 10 minutes, Bokuto speaks up, his voice a bit low and hesitant. Kiji, you're happy in our relationship, right? Akaashi's fingers pause as he processes the question, surprised. Then, after a moment, he resumes typing as he answers. I'm not sure why you would ask something like that. Kiji, I'm serious. Akaashi sighs. Yes, Bokuto-san, I'm very happy in our relationship and always have been. Why would you ask that? Why are you insecure? There shouldn't be a reason. Bokuto makes a noise of discomfort. Why do you call me Bokuto-san more than you call me babe these days? What? Is that it? I didn't realize, I'm sorry. I'll be more mindful of that moving forward. No, it's not exactly that, but. Bokuto grunts in frustration. God, can you at least look at me? Akaashi sighs again and closes his laptop before shifting around to look at Bokuto's face. Bokuto's expression is a confused mix of sad and fearful, and there's something dark in his eyes that make them appear brooding. It feels like there's a distance growing between us. Something is just off. I can't really explain it. Try to. It's like, okay, this is going to sound really bad. When I'm like this with you, close and cuddly and stuff, it feels like I'm wasting your time and trying to take someone else's man. ... It feels like, what? Sorry, it sounds even worse outside my head. But that really is how I feel. Babe. Akaashi runs a hand through Bokuto's hair and uses the other to cup Bokuto's cheek. I'm not sure what's causing you to think that way, but it's not true. You're imagining it. And I'm in your arms right now, that's almost as close as it gets. Akaashi pats Bokuto's cheek and turns back around, reopening his laptop. Don't get stupid with insecurity, babe. Okay. I'm sorry. It's okay, those feelings get the best of us. Bokuto presses a kiss to the bit of collarbone exposed by Akaashi's shirt. I love you, Kiji. Akaashi frowns a bit, and without looking back to Bokuto's surely smiling face, he responds. Thank you. Akaashi wakes up in a panic, gasping for air as he coughs and clutches his chest. Why did he have to have a dream about that of all things? Undue adrenaline rushing through him, he turns to his side and begins shuffling through the drawer of his nightstand. With a shaky hand, he pulls out a crumpled box of cigarettes, almost weeping with glee when he sees there's still one left inside. He then sorts through the drawer some more, unsuccessfully locating a lighter before cursing under his breath. Osamu. Where are you? Akaashi hears footsteps hastily approaching the bedroom, then the door swings open as Osamu rushes inside. Osamu crawls into the bed and puts a hand on Akaashi's back, rubbing soothing circles as he looks into his eyes. I'm here, what happened? Osamu must have noticed the box in Akaashi's hands, because in the next moment, Osamu's taking a lighter from his back pocket and handing it to Akaashi. Akaashi nods gratefully as he takes the cigarette from the box. He lights it, brings it to his mouth, and sucks the smoke gently, serenity quickly filling his lungs. When he exhales, he watches the smoke rise into the air, and he finds that he can breathe easily again. Okay now. What happened? Had a nightmare? Akaashi takes another drag from his cigarette before responding. Something like that. Or, sorry, Kashi. Osamu kisses Akaashi's cheek and continues rubbing his back. I made a mean breakfast, should help get your mind off some things. And you can always talk to me, why no? Yeah. Thank you. Course. Now, share. Akaashi laughs quietly as he turns the cigarette around, watching as Osamu places his lips on the end of it and exhales with his own puff of smoke. Clouds. What? That's what the smoke reminds me of, clouds. Wispy like the ones you see when you go up high enough in the mountains. Oh yeah, didn't you say you did a lot of hiking as a kid? Ha, a lot is an understatement. Living in the country, outdoorsy stuff was the only stuff we had to do. So my parents were huge on hiking, and Sumu and I got dragged into a lot of hiking stuff because of them until we became big on it, too. Spread my old man's ashes on top of his favorite mountain when he passed. I like living in the city now because of the opportunity, but, yeesh, everything is so busy and self-important. You can say that again. Osamu laughs and rests his head on Akaashi's shoulder. I wanna take you there. To the mountains? Yeah, if you'll let me. A hiking date. I'd like that a lot. I've been to the mountains a couple of times before, but, never for a hiking date. Really? Never? I thought you only dated big manly men who'd wanna show off their muscles with something like hiking. Osamu playfully flexes his arm to emphasize, and Akaashi slaps his bicep. Stop it, you. Why had Akaashi never been on a hiking date before? Well, for years, Akaashi had been with him. When Akaashi was with him, he planned every date, dragging Akaashi left and right whether Akaashi was interested in the activity or not. One place they both found mutual enjoyment in was the beach. There are few things like the feeling of warm sand between your toes and water rushing past you, few things like relaxing and reading while plovers and children cheerfully chirp the day away, and nothing like watching the ocean stretch out into infinity as the sun sets across the horizon. So, Akaashi supposes, because the beach was sufficient when they were together, there was no need to think of visiting a place like the mountains. Akaashi hates the beach now. Yeah, a change of scenery for a little while would be nice. Akaashi knows he's messed up the second he steps into the house. It smells of his favorite meal and lavender incense, and soft piano music plays from the speakers. He's sure that when he walks into the dining room, he'll find Bokuto sitting at one end of the dining table with dishes of food and a single lit candle in front of him. He'll probably be wearing a suit and a boaty Akaashi bought for him, hair dropping with his head looking down at his lap. And that is exactly what Akaashi finds. Akaashi sighs as he drops his work bag on the ground and quietly steps toward Bokuto. With hesitance, he stretches out a hand and strokes Bokuto's hair. Bokuto-san. Bokuto doesn't move, doesn't react to Akaashi's touch or his words. He only sits silently. Babe, I'm sorry. Bokuto scoffs, then raises his head, tears shining in his golden eyes. He roughly pushes Akaashi's hand away. Sorry stops working as well after a while. Kiji. We had a date tonight. And you forgot, again. Akaashi kneels on the floor and looks up at his boyfriend, taking Bokuto's hands in his. I know, I keep messing up. It just slipped my mind. I forget a whole lot of things, Kiji, but I'd never forget anything when it comes to you. So I just can't understand how you can. And why? Bokuto leans down a bit and sniffs Akaashi. Why do you smell like beer? Were you out drinking? Akaashi hangs his head low. The marketing campaign went well. What does that have to do with? I got a promotion today. My co-workers took me out for drinks to celebrate and things got crazy. I lost track of time, and so. It's not a good excuse, but I'm sorry. Bokuto sighs. Oh. Well, congrats on your promotion. But, if you came home, we could have celebrated together. I know, and I'm sorry, but it was just a spur-of-the-moment celebration plan. I can't disappoint my co-workers, you know that. I guess, maybe I'd do the same thing. Akaashi perks up at that, squeezing Bokuto's fingers. You see? You weren't seeing it from my point of view. Things just happen, but those things don't mean I don't care about you any less, okay? Okay. But that doesn't mean I'm not still hurt. I'm upset, Kiji. This is the third time you've forgotten about one of our dates. Bokuto's voice cracks. It hurts. Babe, it's okay. Let me make it up to you, How can you? Let's celebrate my promotion. I don't really have an appetite anymore. Well, there are other ways. What? Akaashi stands up and swiftly swings his legs over Bokuto, clopping down to straddle his lap. Bokuto's eyes widen and he visibly gulps, but his hands still automatically fly to Akaashi's slender waist. Kiji, what are you trying to do? Something I'd hope you'd like, too. Being? Akaashi rolls his eyes. Have sex with you, Bokuto-san. A deep pink colors Bokuto's cheeks. I just didn't want to get the wrong idea. How could you? Well, it's been a while. And we've both been busy. Akaashi lowers his voice to a sultry whisper. We can make up for that time, if you'd like to. Bokuto's expression shifts into something akin to longing, and he leans in close to Akaashi's face as he speaks huskily. If that's what I'm good for. Bokuto leans in closer, and just as Akaashi thinks he's about to be kissed, Bokuto harshly jerks his head away. What was that for? Sorry. But, well. Spit it out. Why do you smell like smoke? Akaashi's heart skips a beat. Say that again. Why do you smell like smoke, Kiji? You reek of it. You reek of it. Akaashi's heart rate speeds up, and his eyes flip down. Sorry, reek wasn't a nice word to use, huh? It's fine. Akaashi looks back up at Bokuto. A lot of my co-workers smoke, and I'm around them when they do it. So I guess the smell follows me home. And you never join in? No, never. Alright, just making sure. But, still be careful, Kiji. Even if you're not smoking with them, just being around them as they do it is bad for your health. Akaashi lets out an empty laugh and holds Bokuto's face in his hands. Yeah, thank you for looking out for me. Now, where were we? As Bokuto leans in once again, Akaashi looks into his eyes. For a moment, Bokuto's irises look like the stormy grey ones of another. Akaashi quickly blinks away the image, and Bokuto's eyes are back to a piercing golden. Eyes that could never hide the truth while Akaashi's own swim with lies. Akaashi stands on the balcony, leaning over the railing as he rubs a cigarette between his fingers. There is a refreshing breeze rustling his hair, making him shiver as he inhales the scent of smoke and fresh air. The sky before him is darkening, the clouds thicken a dark grey hue. And because that reminds him of Osamu, he continues to stand out there and watch the sky despite the impending rain. As if on cue, Akaashi hears the sliding door behind him open and close, and he's unsurprised when Osamu's hands land on his hips. Boo. Akaashi turns around with a smile. Hey. Osamu scowls. HMPH. What? Akaashi turns back around as his smile broadens. You can't even pretend to be startled. I don't like to pretend. Well, that's not something I should be complaining about, I suppose. What are you thinking about? Nothing much, just looking at the sky. Well, it sure is pretty. Akaashi glances back at Osamu to find Osamu's eyes on him. He pricks Akaashi's cheeks. Oh, stop it. You can say thank ya. Fine. Thank ya. Osamu guffaws and buries his face in Akaashi's shoulder. I dunno if you mocking my accent is cute or gross. I think I'd prefer the former. Oh, I'm sure you would. Osamu begins to tickle Akaashi's sides, making Akaashi yelp and try to swallow his laughter as he squirms in Osamu's grasp. Street, stop it, Osamu. What was that? Just quit it. After minutes of tussling, Osamu relents, and Akaashi can breathe again. I'm going to. Osamu laughs as Akaashi sputters. Will you look at that, it's starting to rain, let's get back inside. Osamu bounds back into their apartment, and, after fully catching his breath, Akaashi follows him back inside. Akaashi sees Osamu kneeling over the couch, likely searching for the TV remote, and jumps onto him. Hey. Osamu wraps his arms around Akaashi as the force sends them both flying back in a tangle of limbs on the couch. Ow, my arm, and my back. Thanks for breaking my fall. Osamu shoots Akaashi a glare and frowns. What was that about? Payback for the tickles. Undue punishment. Osamu suddenly smiles. This is a really nice view. Osamu raises both hands, extending his pointer finger and thumb on each hand as if to mimic a camera. I want a Polaroid camera. Really? Why? To capture cute moments with you, duh, we need the memories. I wanna take photos of you when you first wake up with bed hair and drool on your face. Babe, I do not drool. I wanna take a photo of you on the balcony smoking while it rains. Osamu's hands come down to Akaashi's sides, massaging his hips. And I wanna take a photo of you right now, looking like this. But those are just plain, everyday things. Well, even the plain, everyday things with you mean a lot to me. Osamu. Akaashi leans down and rests his head on Osamu's shoulder. AWW, did that touch ya? Hush. PFFT. Say, Kaashi, don't you have a Polaroid camera somewhere? I remember you talking about it a while ago. Yeah, I do, somewhere. Osamu pushes Akaashi back slightly and looks at him with furrowed brows. Something wrong? If you don't know where it is, I can help you look for. Akaashi turns his face away from Osamu's eyes. No, that won't be necessary. Kaashi. Akaashi slides off of Osamu and stands up from the couch, brushing himself off and turning away without looking at Osamu. Be right back. Okay. As Akaashi strides to the bedroom, he can only imagine the confusion that must be coloring Osamu's face. Akaashi swallows his guilt as he enters the room. If need be, he'd explain to Osamu later. Akaashi opens the door to his closet, tilting his head up and looking around a bit until his eyes land on the blue showbox tucked into the corner of its shelf. He stands on his tippy toes a bit and stretches out his arms, teetering carefully as he pulls it off the shelf and into his arms. He then plops onto the ground and shifts the box into his lap. He stares at the lid, heart beating a bit faster, then pulls it off after taking a deep breath. The inside of the box is littered with important tax and identification documents, some crisp and white while others were folded and stained. Akaashi picks up the documents, tossing them beside him until he found what they were hiding. A pink Fujifilm Polaroid camera. The person who had bought it for him had meant to get it in blue, to match your pretty eyes, they had said, but when the bubblegum camera arrived at their doorstep, Akaashi found the ordeal too amusing to want to exchange it. Strewn about the camera are Polaroid photos and notes that Akaashi couldn't understand why he still treasured. Photos of the sky with Akaashi's silhouette, scraggly drawn owls kissing, photos of Akaashi and them at a festival, little love notes attached to lunch boxes. And a special photo of the beach, one where the setting sun has met the horizon and the colors of the sky are nothing short of picturesque. Akaashi's hand was in the frame, running its long, slender fingers through the wet, silvery hair of the man in front of him, pinching at the black tips. The man's figure is huge, intimidating, really, but the smile he wears is so soft and childlike. If his eyes weren't squeezed shut from his glee, Akaashi is sure his eyes would look much like the sun. Written in all caps on the white of the Polaroid is, Happy 3rd Anniversary. A familiar view, a familiar handwriting, and an even more familiar person. The man that Akaashi was better off forgetting, although remembering him forever may be his restitution. Bokuto-san. Kiji. Bokuto's lips crash onto Akaashi's once more. Akaashi hums into it, gripping the strands of hair on the back of Bokuto's neck and pulling him closer. They've been like this for the better part of an hour, sat up in their bed, holding each other, making out lazily like they had all the time in the world. With the heat coursing through Akaashi's entire body, the way his mind is fuzzy from passion, and how the kiss is so intoxicating that Akaashi couldn't think or care about anything other than how good it is. Yeah, it did feel like they had eternity. Akaashi feels their lips disconnect again after a few minutes, and though Akaashi knows they both need to catch their breath, he still shamelessly whines. Eyes still closed, Akaashi whispers. Osamu. What? Akaashi's eyes shoot open. He looks up at Bokuto's face, finding that he looks almost mortified. What did you just call me? Bokuto slowly inches away from Akaashi. Bokuto-san, please, whatever you're thinking, stop, it's not what you think. Then what is it? Akaashi winces at the broken edge to Bokuto's voice. Looking down at his lap, Akaashi plays with his fingers. I was, thinking about how I needed to give Osamu-kun a call. My workplace is, trying to hold a nice party to celebrate getting a new sponsor, so, I was thinking about contacting Osamu-kun for catering. Even if that's true, why would you think about that while we're? Akaashi forces a smile and reaches out to place a hand on Bokuto's chest. You drive me crazy, you know. My mind needed to find something less intense to focus on, otherwise, I would have exploded. Bokuto exhales slowly. It's still weird, Kiji. You're barely home, and when you are, you can't even focus on me. It's like you never come around me anymore unless you want to kiss or, well, want to go further. I feel like a toy. And that you're getting tired of playing with me and getting ready to move on to something else. You know that's not true. I know I'm slow sometimes, but I'm not completely dense, Kiji. What you're saying right now is so hurtful, Bokuto-san. How could you think I feel that way about you? I'm sorry, I might be wrong, but it's just. SHH, don't say anything more. Can I hug you? Bokuto nods once, and Akaashi leans forward to pull him into his arms. I wish I could tell you that it's not true. I wish I could make all those worries melt away. And I can, if only you'll trust me. Bokuto hesitantly returns the embrace, one of his hands going under Akaashi's shirt and rubbing his bare back. Akaashi tenses, then immediately relaxes. Bokuto's hands aren't as calloused as the ones he had grown more accustomed to. Bokuto's grasp was warmer, though, but perhaps too warm, edging on scorching when Akaashi now preferred something cooler. Okay, I trust you. I love you. Akaashi can only try to fall for his touch, try to ignore that it was becoming less and less of what he wanted. I know. Hey, Kiji. I know you're on a business trip right now, so feel free to click off this video and watch it when you get the chance. Still here? Okay, so Kiryu has gotten into making origami for some reason, and he taught me how to make an owl. So, first you. Akaashi is sitting on his bed, laptop in front of him with Bokuto moving about on screen. The video is a few months old and one he should have deleted long ago. But during moments when the memory of Bokuto and his guilt was too much to bear, Akaashi couldn't help but watch it again and again. A knock comes on the bedroom door, and Akaashi slams the laptop shut. Osamu? Come in. Osamu opens the door and peeks his head inside with a grin. The Polaroid camera is so stinking cute. Akaashi smiles back and laughs uneasily. You think so? Yeah. You're sure it's okay for me to keep it? Yeah, I don't really need it anymore, so I'd like you to have it. If you say so. What you doing? Akaashi fiddles with his fingers. Just catching up on some shows. Yeah? Osamu fully enters the room and sits beside Akaashi on the bed. Why are you lying to me? Akaashi's heart drops. Why am I? What? I asked. Why are you lying to me? You only play with your fingers like that when you're thinking hard, nervous, or lying. Damn Akaashi's giveaways. Well, it's actually, porn. And I'm embarrassed to say that for obvious reasons. Osamu laughs as he rubs Akaashi's thigh. I've been with you long enough to know that you're nasty. Osamu places a hand on the laptop and grins mischievously at Akaashi. Though, I do wanna see the type of stuff you're into. Don't. Osamu opens the laptop, and the smile on his face disappears as soon as he registers the sight of Bokuto on the screen. Osamu looks between Akaashi and the screen, his face slowly contorting from shock into hurt, then anger. What the hell? Osamu slams the laptop shut and leaps up from the bed, veins bursting with anger. This again? Seriously? Are you kidding me, Kashi? Osamu, please. Nah. Don't do Osamu nothing. This is the third time this month, and it's only the 15th. When are you gonna wean yourself off this nip you created? Akaashi hugs his laptop, holding it like a baby as he cries out. Osamu, I'm hurting, and this is the best way I've found to cope. I'm trying my best. Well, your best ain't good enough. And, let's be frank with each other, Kashi, what gives you the right to hurt? You're the one that stopped caring for him. You're the one that neglected him. You're the one that left him for me. Osamu punctuates each sentence with a jab to Akaashi's chest. You're the one that wanted this. Akaashi slaps Osamu's hand away. I know that I wanted this, and that makes this worse. I just can't stop feeling bad about everything. But I still want you, Osamu. I'll always want you. I love you. Do you really love me? Of course I do. Really? Cause I don't think you have the capacity to love someone, seeing what you did to your boyfriend of 4 years. Hell, I might be the crazier of the two of us for getting together with you in the way that we did. But, well, I know what I said when I was talking about taking photos with you earlier and all, but seriously, I don't care about the past. Who needs memories? Osamu scoffs. Well, clearly you do. Osamu leans down, getting close to Akaashi's face. Though his face is otherwise that of indifference, there is a storm brewing in his grey eyes. Unlike your old man, I'm not a wuss. I'll stand up to you, and I won't let you treat me like an option. Osamu. Go to him. What? Go to Bokuto. Get your proper closure. And, better yet, find a therapist's office when you're done with that. Hell, I don't care where you go, but if there's any part of you that's still missing him, don't come back here till those feelings are gone. Or unless you wanna pack up your things. Please, don't. Osamu raises a hand, then stands up again. He turns away from Akaashi and walks toward the door, pausing as his hand reaches the knob. My feelings for you are serious, why no? More serious than they've ever been for anyone. And if that's what people call love, then maybe that's what I'm feeling. That's probably how Bokuto was feeling. ... I ain't letting myself be the second man you mess up. Osamu leaves the room, slamming the door shut behind him. Akaashi wants to run after him, but, knowing it's no use, he grabs his wallet and keys from his nightstand. He would reconcile with Osamu later, he felt there was somewhere else he needed to go first. Akaashi enters the house with a huff, tossing his work bag to the side and loosening his tie. He peels off his coat, knowing it smells like smoke and liquor, and folds it up before shoving it into his bag. He tiptoes through the dark house, pitch black save for an open window allowing light from the full moon to leak into the home. When he walks deeper into the house, Akaashi finds Bokuto standing next to that window as he sips from a mug. Akaashi stiffens. Bokuto-san. Still not facing Akaashi, Bokuto speaks. The moon is beautiful, isn't it? Yes, I suppose it is. I remember back in high school when we would sit out on the grass on blankets for a late night picnic while looking up at the moon. And then we'd spend the next day scratching each other to get rid of the itch from bug bites. Bokuto laughs quietly. Why didn't we ever just put on bug spray? Well, maybe we just wanted an excuse to touch each other. Bokuto finally turns to look at Akaashi, and even with his face half shadowed, Akaashi can see the pain in his auric eyes and his slight smile. Do you remember those happy days? Bokuto steps away from the window, placing the mug down on a nearby table before walking toward Akaashi. He brings up a hand to hold Akaashi's face, and while he's still smiling, to Akaashi, Bokuto looks menacing. Where have you been? You couldn't have been working overtime until 3 a.m. Even a workaholic like you is more responsible than that. Why are you still awake? Is it weird to want to stay awake until my boyfriend gets home? ... I guess not. So, where were you? Being an irresponsible workaholic. Kiji, I'm really tired right now, so please don't lie to me. I'm not lying. Kiji. Bokuto turns Akaashi's face around in his hand. Then why do you have a hickey? I know I didn't give it to you. Akaashi's eyes widen. It's not a hickey, I swear. I swear on my life, it's just a normal bruise. Bokuto lets go of Akaashi's face and steps away from him. You're cheating on me. Akaashi's heartbeat speeds up. He really hadn't been cheating on Bokuto that night. He'd been working later than he ever had, and the bruise was from some spilled hot coffee. But Bokuto's accusation, wrong for this night but filled with so much truth, somehow angered Akaashi instead of putting him to shame. Akaashi steps close to Bokuto. And what if I did cheat on you tonight? Then what? What are you going to do? Bokuto's eyes widen, then he turns his head away. Did you really cheat on me? Or are you just taunting me? Because if it's the latter, that's not funny, Kiji. Well, I'm sick and tired of you not trusting me. Bokuto turns back, and his facial features are contorted in rage. And I'm sick and tired of not being able to trust you. Akaashi jumps a little, startled, then composes himself once more. There really is no need to yell like that. And what have I done for you to not trust me? What have you done? Bokuto laughs and runs a hand through his hair. Oh, well, what haven't you done? You're out more than you're home. We barely go on dates because you either say you're busy or reject my ideas. You forget important days. We don't even cuddle when we sleep anymore. And these days, you talk a lot about a certain someone. And you look real happy talking about him. Bokuto leans down to whisper in Akaashi's ear. You didn't take the car today, but there aren't buses running at this time, and you didn't call me to pick you up. If I had gone outside a bit earlier, would I see you getting out of Maya-sam's car? Akaashi sucks in a breath, unwilling to respond. But from the way Bokuto sighs against his ear, he knows his silence is enough of an answer. Bokuto leans back looking solemn. When you look into my eyes, I don't think you see us anymore. I think you catch a glimpse of yourself with someone else. Kotaro, stop this. Akaashi grasps Bokuto's shirt, and though Bokuto doesn't move, it feels like he's slipping away. Akaashi looks at Bokuto with crazy eyes, getting a little desperate. Okay, yes, I admit, I had a little crush on Osamu-kun. Bokuto's face crumbles. How could you, Kiji? I couldn't help it. But, that was in the past, it's fine, I've moved on, I don't care about him anymore. Bokuto closes his eyes, hanging his head low as he mutters. I want to believe you. I want to trust you. But we both know you're just telling me what I want to hear. Babe, we all have crushes during our relationships, it's really not that big of a deal. What? Bokuto looks up at Akaashi with the most hateful expression Akaashi's ever seen him wear. Bokuto violently pushes Akaashi away from him, and Akaashi yelps in shock. No, we don't all develop feelings for other people while in a committed relationship, Kiji. And, you know what? Yeah, I'll say it is okay if you do. But, you could have left it as a meaningless crush. Let it fade away, tell me about it if the honesty would help, but instead, you're entertaining it. Acting on it. Bokuto sighs breathlessly, and Akaashi sees him shaking, a sign he is fending off tears. I think I'm done. All at once, the world feels like it's crashing down on Akaashi. What? You can't be done. I can, and I am. With his head down, Bokuto walks briskly and brushes past Akaashi. No, babe, please. Akaashi grabs Bokuto's arm, and Bokuto halts. We can work this out. I know we can. No, we can't, Akaashi. Bokuto turns his head to face Akaashi, a single tear rolling down his face. You're my moon. I thought if I acted like everything you've been doing is okay, the moon would keep shining every night. The moon is still beautiful, but its light is getting dull. What does that mean? It means that I can't pretend anymore. Even without Maya-sam in the picture, I'm sure things would have ended up this way. But I wish you would have just told me you were losing feelings instead of torturing me like this. You know I love you, right? No, I don't. Bokuto turns back away, and with a mix of denial and acceptance rising in his chest, Akaashi lets go of his arm. And, for the first and last time, Bokuto walks away from him. Oh my god. Akaashi can barely hear his 𝘠𝘬𝘀𝘴𝘠 voice over the sound of sirens. He grips his steering wheel, safely seated in his car as he looks at the commotion a few blocks away. The clamor of the police cars and the ambulance huddled around the nearby house reverberates through Akaashi's shaking body. The house with a cute, pointed roof that looked like a beak. The house with the gunmetal blue exterior and trims that Akaashi had insisted should be white. The house that they had picked out together. The house that was now Bokuto's alone. No, oh my god. Why was there an ambulance? Why were there police? What had occurred? How long had they been there? Most importantly, what happened to Bokuto? Akaashi feels a Bokuto-shaped cavity open up in his heart. It readily fills with the venom of fear and guilt. Tears well up in Akaashi's eyes, and he squeezes them shut, resting his head on the steering wheel and covering his ears. Make it stop. Akaashi can't shake the feeling that maybe he's too late. And that maybe he shouldn't have let go of Bokuto's arm that day. Or any day prior to it.